After we establish a deal, now we have funding options. Then we kind of move down the line. So then we move into essentially paperwork, right? Getting ready on the closing process, getting all that kind of stuff set up. You guys are familiar with this. So we go to that, and then we actually go to closing, there's signing, and then fulfillment. Okay, last thing is we got to get this deal done, renovate it, flip it, refinance it, whatever it is, and then we just wash, rinse, repeat over and over and over again. All that being said, that is the deal process. So we're going to focus now more on private money. We're not going to talk about cash. Everybody's cash is limited at a certain point. And this is also to repeat what I've seen before also when it comes to cash. And I don't want to gloss over this either, because I've seen it happen multiple times. And I believe this is a thing. So that's why I say, like, when I've had some people I work with, like one-on-one, and I say, how much money do you have to invest? I've got this amount. Okay, great. I need you to pretend that you have no money. And sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But what I've seen, the ones that do have money, typically they won't pretend that they don't have money, and they'll go use that money to go buy real estate. They'll go use that money to go buy real estate. And not that it's bad, but they may be losing a valuable learning lesson. Because when I got started, I had no money. And it was one of the greatest blessings I could have ever been given, because it forced me to try to figure out how to get deals done with no money out of pocket. And so I've seen this happen where someone will have a certain amount of money, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, and they'll go use it to go do a deal, 2, 3 deals, let's say the rentals, and then they run out of money and they're like, I'm not doing more deals. Why? Because I have no money. I'm like, I know. And I knew this was going to happen. Now you've wired your brain to say, okay, need money to do deal. No money, no deal. Like, no, like that's your caveman thinking. The neuroplasticity, the wiring of your brain. I need you figuring out how to get deals done with no money down. Figure out how to get deals with no money down. Okay. I could tell you all my land stories, how we've acquired all this land with no money down. Actually, one of them, I did put money into it. I have a couple partners. I'm like, I can raise money. We can go 100%. They're like, no, we don't do it ourselves. I'm like, I think it's a bad move, but it's a really good deal. All right, I'll contribute. And I put cash in that deal. Now partners in that. And now they're like, shit, our land's not selling. What should we do? I'm like, we could have did a syndication. We could have brought some partners. It's okay. We're in a good spot. But now we're looking at developing like some warehouse buildings. Like, we don't have money for that. How are we going to do that? I'm like, bro, who are you talking to? So I need y'all to have that mindset. There is the formula that I have found that has never, ever, ever failed me, ever to this day. The formula. This is the Failproof funding formula. So the Failproof funding formula is real simple. It equals, is real complicated though. It's as simple as that. Okay. Good deals and trustworthy people. So since I got started in this thing and started talking to first partners and then lenders, this has been the one thing that I can always say has been constant in every single deal. It's been a good deal, not always a great deal, but it's been a good deal. They haven't always turned out good. Some of them turned out really bad, although it's a small percentage of them, but they've been good deals with my numbers, right? My projections. There's risk in everything. Only do great deals. Like, you're not, that's okay. You can't predict the future. Trust me. I've spent a lot of money on not just coaching, but counseling, advising me on through some of my stress out moments where I felt like a bad human being because things went bad on like real estate deals. But I've always honored my lenders with a 100% track record. But things go bad. I'm like, I should have seen, no, you can't freaking predict the future. You do your feasibility as much as you can, but you bring good deals to the table. How do you do good deals? Like, you guys know how to do good deals. You run it through the Mesa. Is everybody enjoying the new Mesa?
Yes, I do. I really like it too.
Okay.
Yes, I really like it too. I really like it.
Okay, good. So good deals and trustworthy people, operating with integrity, seeking to help first, right? Educating, being an advocate for your lenders. This is like so easy. I don't know everybody in this group like closely, but I think for the most part I do. Just bring good deals to the table and operate with integrity, like using wisdom, because you guys are basically like, people have like financial advisors and all this kind of stuff. Most of, like, hope I'm not hurting anybody, but a lot of financial advisors, like some of them are crooks. And then others, like, do they really have the best interest out for their clients? I don't know. But what I found through this real estate thing and this private lending thing, where I'm for profit and I'm hoping to make a lot of money using your money, but I'm also telling you that up front. And the more that I win, the more that you win. So we went together. So it's really cool. This is where I just need y'all to understand this. I need y'all to understand this. The more that you understand this, right? And this is like, really, it's not just a story that you are trying to tell someone or a sales pitch. It's like, no, this is, you are becoming this person.